Hello guys, yam farming, especially commercial yam farming, is very capital intensive. The aspect of having to procure seed yams is the major area where people spend a lot of money. But as a wise yam farmer, you must be proactive in order to be able to cut your cost, because that is the way you are actually going to make a lot of gains. One way to ensure that is to start planning for your planting materials for your seeds from the beginning of the season as you are planting your yams to get large tubers. Alongside, you must make arrangement to plant your seed yam. That is what this video is all about. There are several secrets that we are going to show you on how you can achieve that. Let's get right into it. So guys, why planning your yams to get your yams, your large tubers, like I have on my left side of this farm? Also create an area, a segment of your farm for growing your seed yams, so that side by side, while you are planning to get your yams, you are also planning to get your seed yams. What I have done now, if you look at these two ridges, I have planted some of my seed yams, and that's what I intend to show us. So while I'm harvesting my yams, I'm also going to harvest some seed yams. Mind you, we have uploaded a video before where we can also still get seed yams from our yams. So eventually, I'll have lots and lots of seed yams. So next planting season, I don't have to buy them. Even though you are not a commercial farmer, you just farm to get yams, tubers to feed your family, you can also do same, so that the next year, you will not have to buy. That way, you'll be able to cut costs. Now, we are going to show us 3 different ways we can do this. Here is just one, planting on ridges. And I will show you some of the materials we can plant. So let's go to the materials that we can actually plant, how to obtain your materials that you can plant alongside with planting your yams. So guys, these are 3 basic planting materials that you can use to get your seed yams. We've uploaded videos on all these before, except I think maybe for just one. This is usually small tubers that you get from harvest. You get them from harvest. In fact, there are 4 ways you can actually get this. During your harvest, you can get this. I always like this because they can easily sprout. Like you can see, this one is already sprouting, and it's small. It's going to develop to give me my seed yam that we'll use to plant next season. You see that you get it from your harvest. You can also get it from the market. People sell it, they just heap it up and sell. You can get them from research institutes that do research on yam, and you can get a lot of this from them. And of course, you can also grow your own from vines. There are researches that have been done where these can be grown directly from yam vines. So I would encourage you to check out some fantastic YouTube videos on that. All right, so this is one. Another one is your mini set. You can actually split yams into mini sets. This will help you to also get yam. This is another method. I've already split these ones and I've rubbed them with ash. But one major disadvantage that people complain about is that sometimes they get to lose a lot of these. They get rotten in the ground, and that will be all. One of the ways I've used to overcome that is to sprout this in the nursery before taking them to the field finally. So you can just put them in the nursery, they will sprout, and of course you not take them to, that way you ensure that they've sprouted and they will survive. Maybe this is just a discussion for another day. We'll discuss this, how to do that another time. Now there's this last one I love to do, and it helps me to get these materials cheaply. These are yam heads. It's either I get them from my kitchen or I tell people to give me the one that they want to throw away. Another very important place you can get this, which is very, very common, is to go to eateries where they cook food and sell. So they don't really have use for this stuff. So you just go there and offer them a little amount of money, and they will give you quite a lot of them, and they are very, very useful. So you get them and use them to get your seed yam. What I do is to eventually, sometimes if they are too big, I eventually just split them along the places where they are sprouted, and eventually I will now have plenty of them. This one has a sprout here, this one has another sprout. The advantage this one has over the normal mini set is that they are ahead of yams and they already have sprouts, so I can just split this one again into this. But if you see that the head is too small, just plant it whole that way. But if it is too big and you have several sprouts, you can actually split them. You can split them so that you can have more seed yams. So this is a very good way, it's a very cheap way to get planting materials for planting for seed yams. So we've demonstrated 3 now. This one, the normal mini set, and getting yam heads. So let's go to show us how we can finally plant them. We have said that we can plant on another segment, a separate segment from where you planted your yam. That is the first. Making ridges, carve out a segment in your farm to plant your materials for seed yam. But one very interesting way I have found out is you can save a lot of cost by planting alongside your yam on the same heap. Look at this heap. I've already planted my seed for my yam that I'm going to use to get my yam. But I can also plant the small seed that will give me seed yam later on this same heap. What I will just do is to come to the side with my cutlass or hoe and just dig a path and plant and cover. It's as easy as that. It's far easier when it is even wet. You just put your hole and bury your small tuber that will give you your seed yam. Now, the advantage of this is that whatever you are going to do for this yam, this small yam that you have planted, seed that you have planted that will give you your seed yam will benefit. Whether you are applying manure or fertilizer, whether you are weeding, whether you are staking, because if it comes out, it will just follow the yam. The same stake that the yam is going to follow is the stake that this small yam is good. So you are practically doing nothing for it. All you need to do is to continue what you have planned for your normal yam that you have planted on the heap. It will benefit from it. So this way, I don't really have to do so much. When I'm harvesting, I will just take it out. I'm going to show you the ones that I have done somewhere else. Now, this is the second method. Now, let's go to the third method of how you can plant this particular yam to get your seed yam. So this is number 3 way you can achieve planting your seed yams. Planting for your seed yams alongside with planting for your yam. Plant them in the same bag. Look at my yams in bags. They are large bags. I normally use large bags because I want to get large tubers. I've already planted to get my yams eventually. If you can see some of them, they started growing. But I will zoom closely so that you will see that I have tiny vines that are growing out from the bag too. From the same bag, you have very thick vines growing to get me my yam. These are for seed yams, while these are for the yams. So it's an advantage for me because inside the same bag, I'll have both my seed yams and I'll have my yams too. So all I need to do is to feed the bag very well so that the yam will get large and my seed yams will do very, very well too. I don't need my seed yams to be so big. Whatever the case, I'll still use them as seed yam. It's an advantage. So for me, it's a win-win situation. So let me zoom closer so that you will see what I have done before, so that you see the smaller vines that are growing to give me my seed yams. So this is a bag that is having both the vines that will give me the yams and the vines for the seed yams. So let me zoom closely. You see the tiny one. Check out this tiny one. It's eventually going to give me my seed yam. So it just started growing. It has even started growing leaves. Whereas the vines that will give me my yam is large, and of course it has started climbing the pawpaw stake that I'm using. So I'm using this pawpaw as an isolated tree kind of. So you can see that from the same bag I'm going to get my seed, and eventually I'm going to get my yam. So this is a way you can achieve this. Guys, I'm sure you have learned one or two things from this video. The way to cut costs is to be proactive, start on time to plan for your seeds for the next season. But in case you miss the opportunity at the beginning of the season, at the end of the season there is still one more opportunity you need not to miss in order for you to get your seed yam. Watch this next video to show how you can get seed yams from your yams at no cost. Thanks and God bless.